o'clock on this Friday morning, January 31st, the last day of January.
And the last day of the week.
Yes, very true.
Yes, it's
Both
been a
have
long week.
Yes, long week, long month.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed. We've got a lot coming up here on ARC Rochester. Of course, Abby Fridman. I'm Dan Schrack. A packed 2 full hours for you. We are looking ahead this weekend for a special show at Comedy at the Carlson later on this morning. How laughs will go toward a good cause.
Yeah, and then we're only 2 weeks out from Valentine's Day. We'll give you some tips on what to look for if you're getting your special someone some new bling. I just want to point out, you have not asked me to be your Valentine yet.
I did it here on air earlier this week.
I don't remember that.
I'll find the clip.
Okay.
Ashley, if you can find the clip, we need to see that.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah. I think maybe you just assumed. Maybe you just assumed.
No, I swear I
Well,
did.
There were no flowers.
Will you be my Valentine?
Yes, Daniel, I
The
will.
flower. You don't get the flowers until Valentine's Day. You know that, right?
Well,
And do you want flowers or do you want those diamonds?
I want the diamonds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before we talk diamonds, before we talk comedy, we have to talk about the forecast. Meteorologist Marty Snyder is here. Marty, we're heading into the first day of February, and we all know what happens on Sunday, the second day of February.
Yeah.
We've got that prognosticator who pops his head out of a hole and tells somebody something.
It's not
Great
just
guy.
Mark McLean.
Yes. Usually it's him out the door in the weather
Yeah,
office.
right?
Yeah, it is.
Telling us
It
what's going on. But yeah, as we head into the weekend, it is going to feel a lot colder. So no matter what Phil says, it is going to be very winter-like as we go through the weekend. And even today is going to transition over to looking more winter-like by the end of the day. But 39 right now, starting off above freezing. So it's at least some good news now. It's tough to get a day to even get above freezing during an afternoon. But when you start off at that point for the initial part of the day, that's some good news this time of the year. But you can see some precipitation building in. We're going to see some of that rain on and off as we go through the day today. Gradually, it's making its way in, not across the entire area yet, but that will fill in. And by the end of the day today, by close to begin to build in, it's all going to change over to that. And as we head through the evening, could see about a 1 to 3 inch range on any accumulation that we see across the region. And then that moves out and just sets the stage for a much colder weekend. Probably some highs just struggling to hit 20 tomorrow, maybe about the freezing point into Sunday. So overall, pretty cold after this colder air sets up as we head later into the day today, and especially into the upcoming weekend.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Time right now is 8:03. We're going to switch gears now and continue our coverage on the ongoing recovery efforts in the Potomac River following the deadliest air disaster in the U.S. in more than 2 decades.
Yeah, 67 people are dead after that American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas collided mid-air with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter.
That crash happening just before 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. It was making its final approach into Reagan National Airport.
This is a live image of that scene where you can still see that wreckage in the water, both the plane and the helicopter Friday morning. This, again, a live image of the Potomac as those recovery efforts are, of course, suspended during those overnight hours. Again, those will pick back up today.
Yeah. Right now, still a lot of questions remain, especially related to how all of this happened. We've heard from some officials about what the pilots were experiencing, what was happening that night. They said the weather was clear. This was a pretty typical flight pattern for them to be following. Let's take a listen to American Airlines CEO weighing in on the pilots flying that plane.
These were experienced pilots. I know that the captain had 6 years with PSA, or almost 6 years with PSA, and the first officer almost 2 years. Again, standard approach, and that's about all I can say.
And we heard that phrase, standard approach, multiple times yesterday when speaking about both that American Airlines jet along with that Black Hawk helicopter. It really a tragedy unfolded. They know that as that jet was approaching the runway, that is when the collision happened. It's still not clear, though, what led to that crash. They know everything was by the book up until the moment it wasn't, and that is what the investigation will reveal.
Yeah, we've learned some new information. According to FAA documents, an air traffic controller on duty was handling double the responsibilities that night. The documents even called it abnormal for that time of day and the volume of traffic. Keep in mind, Reagan National Airport is busy because you're dealing with not only commercial flights, but also those military flights as well.
Yeah, military aircraft over there. Good news here is that the black boxes yesterday, those were recovered from the wreckage. As we mentioned yesterday morning, the NTSB would be leading the charge into this investigation. NTSB holding a news conference yesterday talking about those black boxes, what they hope to learn from this crash. Have a listen to that.
We are all here because this is an all-hands on-deck event. And we're here to assure the American people that we are going to leave no stone unturned in this investigation. We are going to conduct a thorough investigation of this entire tragedy, looking at the facts. As part of any investigation, we look at the human, the machine, and the environment. So we will look at all the humans that were involved in this accident. Again, we will look at the aircraft, we will look at the helicopter, we will look at the environment in which they were operating in. That is standard in any part of our investigation.
Now, we know these investigations can take a year, if not longer. What they do is they remove all of the wreckage from the water. All of that wreckage will then be moved to an airport hangar and reassembled so they can help identify exactly what happened, and within the next 30 days. And of course, many families out there wondering exactly what happened as they try and work through this grief.
Yeah, and sadly enough, so many loved ones also wondering where their loved ones are.
Yes.
So many bodies still have not been found. Dozens have been recovered. But, you know, like you said at the beginning, there are many who still remain in the plane and in the helicopter. You can see some of the wreckage there. If I'm remembering correctly, officials yesterday said that's about 8 feet of water that we're looking at right now. That's how deep that area is. When it comes to recovering those individuals, challenges for the dive teams include the weather, the current, how cold it is. There's a lot playing into that recovery process right now, which is likely why it is taking so long.
Yeah, that current widening that debris field to about a mile as of yesterday. Net board officially coming from the airline at that point, but among the victims, 14 figure skaters. We're talking coaches and families. Now, according to U.S. Figure Skating, they were in Wichita for an event there. There was a large gathering in Boston yesterday where here's what one of them had to say.
We just wanted to be here and be part of our community. I've never seen anyone love skating as much as these two, and that's why I think it hurts so much. The kids here really work hard. Their parents work hard to be here. But I feel for the athletes, the skaters, their families, but anyone that was on that plane, not just the skaters, because it's just such a tragic event.
Not just a representative there, that former Olympian Nancy Kerrigan. She was there to show her support for those families. She said after a tragedy like this, she was with the coaches and families.
Absolutely. All the support they need right now pouring in from all across the country. This is a story we're going to continue to follow throughout the morning. Many updates to come throughout the day today, but still a lot to unpack. Several pages in our documents here. What we've learned about the victims, other information that's been coming in, and you know the relation to Flight 3407 out of Buffalo, and some of the laws and changes when it comes to air safety that have come from that crash that prevented likely many other crashes.
Absolutely. Much more to come in the coming days, and of course right here on 13 WHAM and Fox Rochester.
Time right now is 8:10. When we come back this morning, we're going to check in with Chris Lopez.
We're back after this. Rochester turns to the Riverside Convention Center for its 38th year.
Yeah, the show features hundreds of different boats, from larger cruisers to even some jet skis, too. Chris Lopez is live from the convention center, giving us a little tour and spending our money. I have 2 boats now.
You have 2 boats?
I have 2 boats.
He bought
now.
you 2.
Well, I guess.
You bought you 2
he
boats.
Took my credit card. 2 boats, yeah. Chris, thanks for that.
Abby has 2. Dan has 1. We'll work on getting Dan 2. You name it. That's the kind of guy I feel Marty is here. So this bad boy, check out the paint job. Check out the glistening sparkles in here to kind of add that effect as Marty goes through some of the lake, crashes through some of the waves. You see the hair flowing, the muscles popping, all adding to the effect of this bad boy right here. Sticker price, I have no idea. I will not take anything out of Marty's wallet at all, so he can find out how much this is. But I feel this is a home run hit right here for Marty. Let me know at the end of this bad boy, Marty. If you want this, I can work on some type of financing deal for you. But the boat show here, it's not all about just boats. There is accessories, there's safety courses, there's boat clubs. I bring in Dave this morning. He's been showing me around. When it comes to the accessories, this is pretty cool. This is not your standard dock here that we're standing on.
No, we're kind of in the dock and hoist section here. So this has traditional docks and hoists, and also this is wave armor. Wave armor on this big one here, you actually drive your boat up on it so you're out of the water, and the other ones here are different sizes for wave runners or jet skis.
And then the different accessories you guys have, I saw you guys have safety vests over there, engines as well that you guys are selling people. I know that's not out here right now, but you guys are selling engines to people?
We do. Everybody, there's some dealers that are what they call loose motor dealers.
Okay.
So if you want to put a new motor on or upgrade your motor, a bigger motor, a smaller motor, you can also do that and have it pre-rigged with one of the dealerships that are selling the brand that you want.
And when it comes to some of these accessories right here, I've never seen these. How quickly has kind of the accessories for boats changed over the past few years?
Everything's getting more convenient for everybody. Used to be you had to have a hoist in the water or you just left it in the water. Now it's really easy. You just drive up on this. When you're done, you just push yourself back off. Your watercraft, your boat stays neat and clean, and you go boating and get some memories for your family.
Safety courses. Someone's coming here first time. They have no idea about a boat. They just want to buy a boat.
Yep.
They need a safety course though, right?
Yeah. Everyone has to have a boating safety course, which is a 3-hour course online, or the Power Squadron is here, as well as the Coast Guard. And there's a lot of boating courses. You can physically go and attend for an 8-hour course, or you could take it online. But everyone has to have a course starting last year.
And then affordability here for the boats. We'll go back to the boats. You guys have everything from the range of, I saw some about $13,000 all the way, we're looking at over $250,000 for boats. So there's something for everyone, and the financing too. You said $50,000, 20 years finance, right?
Correct. Yep.
And then anything under that 25 to 50
is 15 years of financing, and then you can pick, there's different terms in between, but it's very, very affordable to get into a boat. Unlike a car where you have a 5 or 6 month year payment, here you're 15 to 20 years.
And then we also have, what, pontoon boats here?
Kayaks, little kayaks, and windsurfers. Like I said, there's almost anything and everything you want is in this building on one of the 2 floors.
Boat clubs also are in attendance here. Let's say you're just delving into it and you just kind of want to check out what a boat is, what it entails, what the people are like, so on and so forth.
It's like a timeshare program. There's a couple different. There's Fleet Boat Club and Freedom Boat Club.
Okay.
So you join the club and you get into it. You share the boat with somebody else. And typically what happens is after a little bit of time, you realize that you like boating. You figure out what size boat you want, and then you hit one of the dealerships, and then you purchase the boat and you do it on your own.
Someone wants to come here. What time should they be here?
11 o'clock, 11 to 9 today, 10 to 9 on Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sunday.
And producer Ashley, you said you were not super fancy. You don't really want a big boat. You didn't really want a small boat or anything like that. Check out the selection that I've chosen for you. You got this bad boy right here. It's going to cost you quite a few Benjamins right here. It's not too bad, but I feel you are in the mode of this right here. Standing up. You got these little paddle pump thingies right here. This is going to cost you about 15 Benjamin Franklins. Ashley, tell me. Ooh. Producer Ashley said put it on Abby's card and she'll take it. I already got the information for that. We're going to be here. I got a special surprise for you guys at 8:30.
Chris,
we got a pretty cool technological boat, yes?
quit buying that. I didn't ask for a financing a boat.
Yeah, nobody's got
Really?
money
You
for
didn't-
that.
Yeah, really.
Man, I'm sorry.
You know,
I didn't know that.
wanna
You should have
know
told.
why you were scared of taking Marty's credit card, but weren't scared of taking mine.
Well, because he already mentioned Marty's
So not
rippling
s-
muscles.
Yeah.
Not scared. Mard warm-ups ago.
Yeah.
Dan, on the other hand, said it was fine. So, here we go. Financier, Chris Lopez, also
It doesn't.
morning feature reporter. You name it, I got you.
Zoom in on that credit card number.
What is that? That looks
Yeah,
Chris.
exactly. Exactly.
Ah, man, I dropped it. I don't know where it's at.
It's in the
Thank you,
water.
Chris. Thank you.
Time right now is 8:19. When we come back, we're going behind the story.
Ark Rochester is back right after this.
Welcome back. Time right now is 8:21.
We are taking you behind the story this Friday morning, bringing you the latest information on some of the top headlines that we've been following.
Yeah, we're going to start out right now with some political news. A trio of contentious confirmations taking place on Capitol Hill yesterday. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard all facing questions from senators.
Yeah, 13 WAM's Stephanie Joseph has been following this for us all week long. She joins us live from the newsroom this morning with the very latest. Steph?
Yeah, it was day 2 for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We know that he is going for Secretary of Health and Human Services, but also Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel. Gabbard is being considered for Director of National Intelligence, while Kash Patel is being considered for the FBI.
Now, Steph, let me ask you, this was the second day, as you mentioned, for RFK Jr. to be there before congressional leaders where he was questioned. We know that day 1 he really was grilled by a lot of legislators. How did day 2 go for him?
I would say there's much of the same that came through that. I think one point in particular been drawn from people about this nomination was him being a quote unquote vaccine skeptic. So he had said in yesterday's meeting, as well as the day before, the hearing before that, he was saying that he believes in vaccines. But I do want to turn attention to one particular topic when it comes to vaccines and vaccines and autism. We have a senator from Louisiana. Sound from him. Let's see if we can pull that up.
And I am concerned, as Senator Mullen expressed his concern, about the need for science to help us move forward on critical issues. Now, some of you are new to this committee and new to the Senate, so you may not know that I am the proud mother of a 36-year-old young man with severe cerebral palsy. And a day does not go by when I don't think about what did I do when I was pregnant with him that might have caused the hydrocephalus that has so impacted his life. So please do not suggest that anybody in this body of either political party doesn't want to know what the cause of autism is.
And my apology there was some other sound that was supposed to be queued up instead, but obviously some very passionate sound from one of the senators there just about that topic in particular. But I do want to see if we can pull up that other sound from the Louisiana senator who was there asking questions directly of Kennedy.
Let me ask once more. If the data is brought to you and these studies that have been out there for quite some time and have been peer reviewed, and it shows that these two vaccines are not associated with autism, will you ask, no, I need even more? Or will you say, no, just unequivocally and without qualification say that this does not cause autism?
Not only will I do that, but I will apologize for any statements that misled people otherwise.
Thank you. Next.
And I just want to pledge to you that I will never stick on a point if somebody shows me data that says I'm wrong. I know that's an interpretation people have, but it's absolutely wrong. I am science-driven and evidence-driven.
I think the concern is how persuadable people are.
So you kind of heard the sound there. It sort of speaks for itself about his previous views, him sort of coming out and clarifying, in a sense, what he believes about vaccines.
And Steph, I just want to ask one more thing. We know that RFK ran against Trump in the race for the White House. And honestly, it was a tough fight between the two of them. He was very adamant about not supporting President Trump, and now here we are all of these months later, and he's going through this hearing process. I'm wondering what he's said when it comes to how his views align with President Trump.
Yeah, he said it word for word in these hearings, but specifically yesterday saying that he agrees with President Trump on the topic of abortion. For example, he agrees with President Trump that, quote, every abortion is a tragedy, and that he is going to serve at the pleasure of the president. He's going to implement his policies. So when it comes to that, it seems very much now, especially on the topic of abortion, that a lot of people had criticized him for sort of changing tone, because on the campaign trail, it had seemed that their views had not aligned on a topic like this.
Steph, two other hearings. You had Tulsi Gabbard, but I also want to talk about Kash Patel here if we have time. Let's start with Kash Patel. What are the concerns?
Yeah, he had mentioned earlier on in the hearings that he had concerns drawn from the terror attack that had happened, specifically referring to New Orleans.
Protecting the rights of the Constitution is of the utmost importance to me and has been every single time I've taken that oath of office. The recent terrorist attacks in New Orleans tragically claimed the lives of 14 innocent Americans and serve as a stark reminder that our national security is at threat, both internally and externally. The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Department of Justice, where I served, play a pivotal role in securing our freedoms and our safeties for American citizens.
So you kind of heard there him just sort of saying re-upping commitment to the Constitution, but also concerns about national security drawn from a recent event that had happened earlier on this month.
All right, Steph, and then a quick overview before we run out of time about Tulsi Gabbard and what her confirmation hearing has looked like so far.
Yeah, she had even given remarks earlier on just to sort of talk about some of the things that have come out in the media about why some people may be concerned about her nomination, specifically when it comes to Edward Snowden. That was another big topic brought up by senators. There was multiple questions rather, that were given to her about Edward Snowden. A lot of people wanting her. She did not do that in the hearings, and that was a cause for concern for some members.
And we know these confirmation hearings will continue as we head into next week. We look forward to that coverage. Stephanie Joseph in the newsroom. Thanks, Steph.
Time right now is 8:28. Much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester.
We're back right after this. And I'm Dan Schrack. We still have a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester. But before all of that, we want to turn now to a special event happening in your community, Abigail.
Yeah, the 2025 Greater Rochester Boat Show is back. Sports boats, cruisers, pontoons, you name it, they have it. And apparently we do too now.
Absolutely. This is true. I think we own three boats between the two of us at this point.
Yeah.
And Marty's getting a jet ski for free, gratis. We'll check in now with Chris Lopez. He is live at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. That boat show underway.
Stephanie as well. So I've just been selling off a ton of things. They need to hire me here. Now, throughout the morning, we've been talking boats, a little bit of jet skis for Marty, but they do have a jet ski display here. Pretty cool colors, I may add. I love the pastel yellow. You got the pastel blue, pastel purple, and it goes from about 15K all the way down to 8K. So relatively affordable if you're looking to jet ski. And then they got the financing options available. Now, I was told by a great salesman, his name is Dave, we'll be talking to him in a few seconds, that each time you make a sale, you have to ring the bell. And I said, what's the bell? Well, the bell happens to be right here. And according to you guys and myself, about a couple sales here, we got it's a lot of sales right there for you guys. 2 floors. We've explored the 2 separate floors, over 300 different boats, from the gigantic one that Abby bought, about a 30-footer, all the way down to a smaller pontoon one that Dan bought at the 7 o'clock hour. And then we have the technology. A lot has changed since boats were invented. David's just been blowing my mind this morning with technology and how boats can dock, how they can wave, how they can search for fish in the ground and or fish in the water. But this one's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the Yamaha 255 XD. This is their flagship for their wakeboard series. What's nice about this boat here is you can control it like you do a normal throttle, but you have paddle wheels here. Okay. So this is your forward throttle. This is your reverse throttle to help yourself docking at slow speeds.
Okay.
Also, here's the cool stuff on here. So you take this, you put it in the mode, and you hit this button sideways. The motors and the drives just know what to do, and they push your boat sideways. When you get out and you want to spin around, you hit the pivot button, you turn the wheel the way you want to go, and it just goes the way you want it to go. When it's time to dock your boat, you hit the button the same way. It comes up into your dock. You hit the hold button, and it holds you directly right next to the dock, so you alone, by yourself, can get off and tie this boat up.
When did this technology start to get implemented in boats?
We've had it for 3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
It's been,
So it's relatively new then.
Over here, for relaxing, you also have a head compartment. So you put a porta potty in here.
Okay.
This has twin 250 supercharged Yamaha jet drive engines. It's over a 50-mile-an-hour boat.
If someone's coming here, or not coming here, they're messaging you, they're texting you, because you said everyone has your number around here. They said, Dave, why the heck would I come to the boat show? I can buy a boat online. What would you say to those people?
Well, you can see every brand that you want right here. You can get all your literature. About 70% of all boat sales start at a boat show. But here's the most important thing. All the manufacturers, all the dealerships, all the banks have all your special financing here at the show. That's why it's important to at least buy something here, put a deposit down. You could finish something at the dealership, but time is very precious. You need to get it in. Every manufacturer has a different timeline, but buying at this show this weekend or putting a deposit down is very important.
And how you took the show over relative about 2003, 2025 right now. How has the boating world changed since then?
Oh, it's just the technology has gone from basic to, spaceship type stuff.
Self-driving.
Yeah.
And I want to get to it. Who can come here? Is it anyone, family, boat enthusiasts, people that just want to walk around?
Anybody can be in here in the building. If you park in the South Avenue garage only, we will validate your ticket at the box office when you buy your ticket. It's $10 for folks, $7 for seniors. First responders, $5 for kids, and children under 12 are free.
And then you guys are here until Sunday?
Yeah, so we're here today until 11 to 9, Saturday from 10 to 9, and Sunday from 10 to 5.
There we go. Thank you so much for touring me around, showing me around the different boats. We got the WHAM crew a ton of boats this morning. I did a lot of hard work, sales, talking to financiers, grabbing and snatching credit cards, you name it. We did it throughout the morning. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio on that note.
All right, Christopher Lopez out there for us. Whatever you do, my friend, make sure you bring us receipts.
Yes, please. Yes.
Because we need to get those to financing here at the station.
Duly noted.
To foot the bill for us.
Yeah, good call. All right,
you.
Chris, thank you. Time right now is 8:36. We still have much more to get to here on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we are continuing to follow the latest developments with some of the top stories we're following this morning.
We are, and we are back on the other side of the break.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion here on ARC Rochester as recovery efforts continue on the Potomac River following the deadliest air disaster in the U.S. in more than 2 decades, claiming the lives of 67 people.
Yeah, this crash marks the first major commercial airline crash in the U.S. since 2009. That one happening nearly 16 years ago, February 12th, 2009, when Colgan Air Flight 3407 crashed into a home in Clarence Center, just miles from the destination, the Buffalo Airport.
Yeah, that's right. This morning, we're joined by Ed Drench from our sister station in Buffalo, WKBW, to talk more about Flight 3407. And Ed, thank you for being here. I'm sure that this is bringing up a lot of memories for the families of those victims of Flight 3407.
Yeah, we've spoken with several of them as well. Robin Tolsma is one person, one Flight 3407 widow who I've spoken with closely over the last couple of days. And what she told me is that the wound is just reopened again, and it never really closes. You just have to continue to move forward with your life. Here, though, in this case, they're so concerned about the families in Washington, D.C., because these Flight 3407 families know exactly what they're going through right now. And when you hear the stories of fathers losing their daughters, losing their children, losing their wives on this plane, it just kind of sparks some empathy from them to almost say, hey, we got you. We know what you're going through.
Do you anticipate that some of those family members who lost their loved ones in 3407 will be reaching family of victims from this crash on Wednesday night?
You know, that's a great question, Dan. And, you know, this is a group of people who understand very clearly what is happening and what their intentions are. But I would suspect that there would be a moment at some point where these two groups of, unfortunately, by tragedy.
Anybody who was in the Buffalo area at the time likely remembers Flight 3407. I remember it. I'm sure that you do as well. It is one of those horrific events that happened to the Buffalo community that left a mark and an impact on everybody who lives there. Ed, I want to know how the community has responded to this crash in D.C. And specifically, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about some of the laws that have changed because of the efforts of the families of the victims of Flight 3407.
Well, when you hear from the experts about this one crash in D.C., this will be an aviation-changing incident. And that's exactly what happened with Flight 3407. What we found out from 3407, you know, perhaps maybe the silver lining is that we weren't nearly as safe as we thought we were. What happened was we were flying on regional airlines and didn't even know that, and they didn't have the same safety standards that mainline carriers had. So in the crash of Flight 3407, you mentioned it, it was Colgan Air that was flying that otherwise Continental airline plane. You see the Continental Globe in that tail that's hanging out from the wreckage at Doug Walensky's home. He died in the crash, Karen Walensky, his widow. And you think that you're flying on a Continental plane, but you weren't. You were flying on a Colgan Air flight, and we had no idea. So that was one of the things that came out of the crash of Flight 3407. Now you know who's flying your plane, and you have the right to ask who's flying your plane, to talk with that pilot to understand. Another thing that came out of this was that one level of safety. So every single pilot, whether it's a mainline carrier or a regional carrier, has to have the same level of training, hours in the cockpit, rest requirements. There are all of these little things that add up to big problems when they're not followed strictly, as we saw with the crash of Flight 3407. Now, to say that's, you know, the case here in the DC crash is still unclear, and obviously there are many questions that need to be answered. But you better believe that those things that I just mentioned that came out of the crash of Flight 3407 will be investigated as part of this latest crash.
Well, and speaking of the investigation, Ed, there's lots of speculation as to what went wrong, who did what, who didn't do what they were supposed to do. Talk to us about the investigation of 3407. What was the timeline for that? What was the timeline for any sort of results? Because
this
it
took
is,
years,
we heard yesterday, it's a glacial process.
Yesterday, her husband Darren died in the crash. this could be a year before we find out what actually caused the crash. It moves slowly. There are hearings in Washington. The NTSB will do its investigation. We'll go through the black boxes and try and figure out what happened in the cockpit in the seconds leading up to this crash. Was there enough air traffic controllers in the tower? But in the 3407 crash in particular, the investigation was very clear at the end that this was pilot error. We knew that the pilots weren't trained to the level that they should have been. There were cuts and, corners taken. The training and having the same kind of standard that these otherwise mainline carriers were required to have. So this is all going to be part of the investigation, I suspect, as we move forward. And when you think about the implication here, I mean, it's been 16 years since a crash like this happened here on U.S. soil. The skies are safer because of the crash of Flight 3407, but what happened here is still the big question mark.
Absolutely. Ed, we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for giving us the update. There will likely be developments as we make our way through the day today. The NTSB is anticipating about 30 days for a preliminary report, but like you said, significant amount of time to put all of the pieces back together and try to determine what exactly was the cause. Ed, thanks for your time.
No doubt. Thanks, guys.
Hey, stick around 8:45 this Friday. We do have much more to come here on ARC Rochester.
Yeah, we're back after the break.
Laugh for a good cause.
Yeah, the Comedy at the Carlson is teaming up with the Golisano Autism Center to raise money for its operation.
Stand Up for Autism is this Sunday, and this morning we're joined by the director of the center, Andrew Ferreira, and director of operations at Comedy at the Carlson, Mark Ippolito, to tell us more about it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for waking up bright and early and coming in. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, let's start with the incredible work done at the center. If you wouldn't mind telling people at home exactly what happens.
Golisano Autism Center. I've only been there a year, but it is really amazing because there are many, many partner providers under one roof and provide services to children, young adults, and older with autism, and helps out families. So it's really from very, very early childhood up to even elderly. And there are some great providers there, lots of different services. We have Autism Up, Happiness House. Oh my goodness, if I started naming things, I know I'd leave someone out on site. And my personal favorite would be Full Life Academy, which is where we drew the comedians for this show coming up.
That is really neat. So let's talk about the show and the comedians that are going to be there.
So when Andrew came to us with the idea of doing a fundraiser, the original idea was just to have some comedians come on and do the show. But I sat with Kevin Markman, who's another person that's kind of helping this move along, and another comedian named Sydney Sir, and we decided that it would be great to have some of the members of the Golisano Center perform. So for the past 6 months, we've actually weekly been sitting on every week. Myself and Kevin Markman and Andrew have been teaching these kids stand-up comedy. And I say kids, there's like 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds. But we have 2 members, and we actually have 2 employees. One of them is the director, who is also going to be doing some magic on the show. So it's not just watching a comedian, it's actually watching them perform. So it's really cool. It's going to make an organic feel to this whole fundraiser.
Now, did you take stand-up lessons as well?
No, I've been a part-time magician for 40 years.
Oh,
but we're not gonna try your hand at stand-up while we're there?
Well, I do stand-up magic, so it's comedy magic. I want to make you laugh. If you're amazed, that's a bonus, and will surprise me as well.
Wow.
Terrific.
A guy who does it all. I dig it. Tell us about some of the money that'll be raised and what it will go to specifically.
Specifically, we're raising money through sponsorships. We have several corporate sponsors and some folks that have given us some items for raffle baskets, and then there's the ticket price as well. But this goes to the general operation of the center. We are a nonprofit, and what we try to do with our partner providers is the more money we raise, the more we can keep their expenses down, including rent reductions or even rent refunds.
What was it about Golisano that, Comedy at the Carlson? I feel like Comedy at the Carlson always steps up. They're always the outlet where you want to have some sort of fundraiser. Bring it here. We can make it fun. We can make it funny. Is that why?
Well, obviously, my partners and I, we want to be involved in everything. But I think everything with the name Golisano on it is great. Personally, the Golisano Centers have been in my life pretty much for the past 20 years. So anything that we can do for them is yes. But we want to help out anybody or any organization, of course. But like he said, with the ticket money to this is all going to go towards the Autism Center. And if you ever had a chance to go there, it's an amazing place. It's got a gym there. They have classrooms, a lot of activities for people. And it really puts a connect where some people might find a disconnect for some people. And it's just an honor to help them out.
What are you most looking forward to about this event? Either of you, both of you.
So I've gotten over the past 6 months, every Tuesday night, myself and Kevin Markin have been working with these guys, and I've absolutely fallen in love with them. They're my friends. They came last night. We had an autistic comedian named AJ Wilkerson, who's pretty popular. They came last night, met him, and they were just in awe about how it all works. I'm really looking forward to seeing the members perform, and also I want to see him perform some magic too. So
either of those members intrigued and maybe want
the rough.
Hey.
So I see potential, and I was actually talking to Kevin last night. He said we might manage these kids someday because if they want to pursue it, levity in any situation, it also brings the connect to where there might be a disconnect. I mean, it's something that we all share. We all want levity in our lives, and it's really good to see these guys. Otherwise, and we help do that. So we're so proud to do this and honored.
Laughter makes life worth living.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. One more time for somebody sitting at home, they want to attend. When, where, and ticketing information.
So normally our shows are 21 and up. But
yes.
No, not this one. This one we can do 16 and up. So please bring a 16-year-old. It is a bar, but as long as you're with your parents and you're not trying to order anything, it's okay. Go to carlsoncomedy.com. We already have well over 100 tickets sold this event.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot of magic. There's no NFL this week. Super Bowl's next week. You got nothing to do. Come to the club, see him do magic. And support Golisano. Let's do this. Come on.
You are, though.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Time right now is 8:54. Much more to get to here on our Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock.
Friday morning. I'm Stephanie Joseph. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's your ARC Rochester news break. A homicide investigation is underway after a man was shot to death inside his vehicle on the city's north side. Officers were called to this scene here on Ellison Street around 7:30, where they found the victim, a man in his 20s, shot in the upper body. He was taken to URMC, where he later died. Investigators believe the victim drove to Ellison Street and pulled to the curb when a suspect approached his vehicle before opening fire and fleeing. No suspects are in custody. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or Crime Stoppers, the number on your screen, 423-9300. And no injuries were reported after flames tore through an empty church on the city's north side. Firefighters responded to St. Bridget's Drive between North Clinton and St. Paul just before 7 last night. Flames were seen just shooting from the roof, which partially collapsed. Again, no one was injured, but a cause has yet to be determined. Rochester police are investigating several car break-ins overnight. Take a look here. Police say 15 cars were broken into on East and University Avenues. We're told officers will be patrolling the areas to prevent future criminal activities. Anyone with information is asked to call 911. Recovery efforts continue this morning in the Potomac River following the deadliest air disaster in the U.S. in nearly 2 decades. 67 people are dead after an American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas collided midair with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. Today, the passenger manifest is expected to be released. Both black boxes have been recovered from the wreckage and are now in the hands of the NTSB investigators for analysis. Now, for all of these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Stick around. ARC Rochester is back right after this. Good Friday morning, 9 o'clock on this January 31st.
Thanks for joining us here on Arc Rochester. I'm Abby Fridman.
And I'm Dan Schrack. We still have a lot to get to this morning right here on Arc Rochester, including this week's edition of the Weekend Buzz. Our friends Scott and Sandy are going to join us with some of their listeners, telling us what some of their listeners are buzzing about this week.
Yeah, and then we'll be joined by one of the exotic animals from Wildlife Rock Stars. They'll be looking into the future to predict this year's Super Bowl winner.
His name is Diggs.
Yes.
He's great.
He's
gotten it
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
So time to put some money on it. Before all of that, we do want to get a check of the forecast because we are looking ahead to the weekend with what we can expect to see and feel. And if we stay indoors, we don't have to do either.
Very true, yeah. Like I always say, I keep all my indoor projects for the winter. So, it's just stay inside, get those things done. And yeah, that's going to be the theme this weekend, just kind of a chilly weekend, kind of an indoor type of weekend for us. Today we're going to see some rain try to build in. That's what we're just starting off with right now. It's a cloud cover that's building in. We're starting with temperatures above freezing, so that's some good news. No rain quite yet, but as we switch over to the radar, you can see it's really filling in. There's a lot of it overhead, and it just has to wait a little bit before it finally moistens up the entire atmosphere, and then it finally hits the ground. But again, we are seeing it build in. That's going to fill in and eventually hit the ground within the next couple hours. We'll see those scattered showers make their way finally down to the ground. But temperatures today mainly hovering in the 30s. Will drop to about 34 by 4 o'clock this afternoon. And by that time frame, I think as we head into the afternoon commute, we're going to start to see it change over to some snow and then eventually just all snow. And we'll likely see, that says it all right there, Dan. Anything that's better than anything I could say. But yeah, we're going to see probably about a 1 to 3 inch range on accumulation by midnight. And then after that, it tapers off. But as you can see, the weekend, just cold, 20 for a high on Saturday. That may be generous. I think a lot of the day will be spent somewhere in the teens. 8 for that low Saturday night. So getting into that polar plunge time frame, that's when it's really just going to
Abby
drop right
sitting
down.
here, throwing her head back, puffing out the cheeks. Oh, gosh.
Okay, the point of not being on camera means I'm allowed to do that without getting thrown under the bus.
You're not. Listen, everybody sitting at home are thinking this
it as
too.
I'm saying it too.
So here's the question. If that's all moving in late this afternoon, early this evening, 1 to 3 inches, depending on, of course, where you live, where you are, and temperatures tomorrow not looking great, that's going to stick around.
That's it. Yeah, it's all going to freeze, and we're going to see some melting play out today with those temperatures above freezing and with the rain. So any of that liquid that's on the ground now, like you mentioned, as we go into tonight, we drop down into the teens. It's all just going to freeze back up, and then we'll have snow on top of that. So it's going to be kind of messy.
So salt now, right?
Definitely.
Or salt as soon as the rain stops and kind of starts to make the switch. Is it even going to help?
A little bit, the effectiveness kind of backs off a little bit as you get those temperatures down there into the teens. But I think that's a good rule there. Just wait till the rain stops so it's not washing away what you're trying to do, and then put that down. And that may help you as you drop down into the upper 20s in that range.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Marty, you mentioned the polar plunge, and that is happening this weekend.
Yeah.
With the 39th Lakeside Winter Celebration out at Ontario Beach Park. Got some video there of some folks braving the cold, freezing for a reason, taking the plunge.
Yeah.
And that is happening this weekend.
And you said we could be seeing single digits. Is that what you said?
I guess that's at noon. So yeah, we might be in the double digits by then. If we're lucky.
Great. So 10, 11.
I
say we like I'm
doing.
Yeah, I say we like I'm jumping in there.
Okay, so when I did it, you wanted to get those clothes off as fast as possible. The people that wore like the pants and the hoodies and stuff.
Oh yeah, because it's just sticking to.
No. We went in swimsuits.
Yeah. Which makes sense, because at least you can dry off and you don't have that wet clothing sticking up against you after that.
Yeah, I think, listen, again, great cause. It is, because it's a great cause.
Special Olympics.
Yes. It takes a strength and a tolerance that I don't have.
Yes.
I can't do it.
No. Like I was saying earlier, we were in Miami Beach earlier this month, and the water, I put my toe in, I'm like, it's too cold, I'm not going in.
Yeah.
So
I
give these people credit for doing this.
So much of it, well, there were 3 reasons. 1, amazing cause. Love the Special Olympics. 2, there was a lot of peer pressure at the time. I was a resident assistant in college. Everybody was doing it. It was a big group of us. Everybody participated. And then you got a hoodie out of it, too.
The winter hat there.
Yeah.
Winter hat and the bathing suit. Nothing says Western New York
Quite
some of these
true.
outfits.
Yeah. Yep. Very true.
Delightful.
Yeah, so that's happening, the Lakeside Winter Celebration. Go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to do the quick rundown. Snow sculpture contest, chili challenge, horse-drawn sleigh, wagon rides. If you can dream it, it is there.
Yeah.
I want to know, what is your prediction for this Sunday? Because it's the first time in a while that Groundhog Day has not fallen on a weekday.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So as we head into that...
So you're asking for my prediction of what Phil's prediction is going to be. So it's kind of like a double...
Well, maybe not even
forecast.
Phil's prediction. What day, if you poked your head out Sunday morning, 6 more weeks of winter or...
Early spring.
Early spring.
Ooh, it's going to be tough to warm it up a whole lot. And a lot of it, usually skews towards the winter sticking around. So, if I had to go with what Phil's going to say, usually that's what it is. He's going to say winter's going to stick around.
Well, Phil is never wrong. It's the interpreter who is wrong.
Exactly.
It's always a misunderstanding.
It's like people that never listen to what I say.
Yeah,
This is true. This is true.
Whoa. The parallels are insane. Seriously.
I'm not saying you, Abby.
But if you put it in perspective, after Sunday, 6 more weeks of winter. It's only 6 weeks.
Yes.
I feel
only 6 weeks.
Come on, Marty. I'm trying to spin
the
this
one way
here.
I can spin it better for you. The one way you can think of it. Let's see. From the 2nd and beyond, you get to the 1st of March. That's the first day of meteorological spring. So no matter what, that's happening on March 1st. So you have less than 4 weeks. To that point.
Day mixed in there.
Somebody's birthday mixed in there.
Somebody's birthday mixed in there.
Big birthday.
It is a big birthday.
Big one.
Yeah, it is. We won't talk about it though.
All right. Good stuff, Marty. Thank you.
Okay,
we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Time right now is 9:08. Still a lot to get to coming up here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we are looking ahead to Valentine's Day.
We're Abigail, it's 9/10 this Friday, and Valentine's Day is officially 2 weeks from today, which means now, not 2 Fridays from now, Now is the time to start thinking about how you can show your special someone just how special they are.
Cash is fine. If
Cash
you're
is
interested.
okay.
Yeah, but for some that might mean a nice night out, maybe some sweets, or maybe even some fancy jewelry for those looking to adorn your loved ones with some bling. It's important to know the difference in the different kinds of jewels that you might be getting.
It is. This morning, we're getting some tips on those differences from jewelry and watch editor at Only Natural Diamonds, Grant Mobley. Grant, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Look at that display in front of you. Let's go through this. And once we're done, we'll give you the address to just box it all up and ship it our way.
Absolutely. You can send me a check.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't know that was part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So tell us, what are people looking for?
So, I like to tell people that are shopping for, especially for Valentine's Day, keep it simple, right? So the basics, the essentials, something like diamond tennis necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond hoops, those sort of things. These are things that everybody wants to have in their collection. And whether they admit it or not, I promise you they want to have these in their collection, because natural diamonds are they're heirlooms. It's something that can be passed down from generation to generation. So essentials like these are something that they can not only wear every day, but they go with everything. It's something they can have forever, and it's a great place to build their collection. So I highly suggest sticking with the essentials. Also, oval diamonds have been super popular. Lady Gaga just this past year got engaged with a beautiful oval natural diamond. And so, ovals have kind of really risen in popularity in the last couple of years. It's a beautiful cut, and it also sort of elongates the finger, which I think is just great. It's very elegant. Diamond rings happen to be the most popular thing that people buy for Valentine's Day. But you can't go wrong with an oval, with essentials, you name it, you can't go wrong.
Can you tell us what a natural diamond actually is?
Sure, absolutely. So natural diamonds were discovered about 3,000 years ago. So this is a little history that most people don't realize. Discovered about 3,000 years ago in India. And so since their very beginning of their discovery, they've had all this folklore around them. Because imagine, it was the first time that humans had seen a product that they weren't able to cut or bend or shape, to their will, because diamonds are the hardest natural substance on Earth. So because of that, it was really, it instantly kind of gave them all this folklore, even down to the naming. So we get the word diamond from the word adamas, which means unbreakable or unalterable. And this is a word that they also used to describe love. And so that's really where we get that tie-in to love. And so diamonds are about between 1 and 3 billion years old, depends on the natural diamonds that where you're finding them. And they were formed about 100 miles below the Earth's surface and blasted towards the surface in these crazy ancient volcanoes that we call kimberlite volcanoes. And so that's really what a natural diamond is. Some people have probably heard of lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds are a very, very different product. And so that's really important to know when you're shopping. I like to tell people, if lab-grown diamonds and natural diamonds were the same, we wouldn't be able to tell them apart. But in fact, we can distinguish them 100% of the time. Lab-grown diamonds are, of course, grown in a lab or a factory in a matter of a couple of days to a couple of weeks. And just like any manufactured product, lab-grown diamonds, they can be made in unlimited quantities. So they don't have the rarity that natural diamonds have. Natural diamonds get their value from how rare they are to find in nature. And so lab-grown diamonds, because they can be made in unlimited quantities, they don't have that. So they get their value just from the cost of production. And so as that cost of production declines, so does the value. And so just since 2016, their value has gone down by about 85%, whereas natural diamond value has risen on average about 3% per year over the last several decades. So it's a very, very different product.
Can you talk to us about sourcing?
Yeah, so, I always try to tell people, going online is a really good place to get inspiration and things like that. I mean, who doesn't love to shop online, right? But I do like to tell people, shop local. Your local jewelers are there to help you, educate you. They are the absolute best people to go to, to buy. They can, not to mention the service, but they can really educate you about your purchase. Not to mention they can be there for you after the fact. So I like to tell people when you're buying, it's great to shop in person.
Display briefly there, but you mentioned that diamond rings are going off the shelves pretty quick. What else are people typically drawn to? Are watches?
I think that the essentials, especially for Valentine's Day, so your tennis bracelets, your diamond hoops, your diamond rings like stacking rings, are really, really popular for the holiday. Stacking rings, diamond stacking rings, are really a great option because they can be in absolutely any price point. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on diamond jewelry. Natural diamond jewelry is available in absolutely every price point, starting just a couple $100s. So stacking rings like these, you can just a couple $100s and you can sort of build a collection, and they look so cool stacked together and mixed and matched and things like that. So those are also really good tips. Because if you start to really get into stacking rings, then you're kind of always have something to buy, right? Another ring to kind of go with that stacking collection that they can mix and match, which is a lot of fun.
Listen, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate the advice. Yeah,
Happy
we appreciate your
Valentine's
time.
Day.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me. This is fun.
Time right now is 9:17. When we come back, we're going behind the story once again this morning.
Ark Rochester is back after this.
Welcome back. Once again, we're going behind the story this morning, bringing you the latest on some of the top headlines that we are following.
We do want to turn to some health news this morning. The FDA approving the first new pain medication in more than 2 decades, and this is not an opioid.
Yeah, and this is really important. And Stephanie Joseph has been following this story for us, and she's in the newsroom right now with a closer look at what this is. Steph, give us the breakdown.
Yeah, so it's referred to as suzetrigine, and it would be under the brand name Journavax, if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, guys, since 1998, so it's been several years, decades since something like this has come about. And the really important thing about this is that it would be used to treat moderate to severe acute pain, specifically in adults. And another important fact about it is the fact that it's not an opioid, so the addictive impact of it would not be felt.
Does a drug like this have to be taken or administered?
Yeah, so as of right now, it's about basically twice a day. So it's 50 milligrams every 12 hours is the dosage. But that it's also important to note that there was a larger dosage beforehand. So it really does depend, again, of course, on a doctor, but 50 milligrams taken every 12 hours.
With these new medications, there are always clinical trials that go hand in hand with it. Steph, do we know what those clinical trials actually determined?
Yeah, there are a bunch of clinical trials. I want to point out two of them. They included about 600 or almost 600 participants, I should say, and that was in terms of using suzetrigine to control pain after abdominal and foot surgeries, for example. And so many people had said that it had reduced pain by at least half after the surgery. That was in comparison to some other drugs. I don't believe that that was used specifically in this study, but it was found to have reduced pain. There was another study when it came to sciatica pain, back pain specifically, and so more people again noting that there was a reduction in pain from this medication.
Now, Steph, anybody who has watched a pharmaceutical ad in the past 2 decades knows this. We see them, on television in our work line. But following the commercial while the family is playing baseball in the backyard or setting up a picnic in the park, there's a voice that comes on that usually reads a mile-long list of side effects. What did the studies find are the side effects from this new painkiller?
So just to name a few of them, itching, for example, muscles. As of right now, that price, the wholesale cost set by the company, $15.50 per 50 milligram pill. But of course, again, that will depend on what the dosage looks like and what insurance looks
per pill.
According to CNN's report.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. I imagine when there's a generic version of the drug at some point, a decade down the line, that's when we'll see, that price substantially reduced.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, you think about the opioid addiction and just how much that has taken over the lives of so many people. This really could be game-changing.
It really could. So here's hoping.
Steph, thanks for the report. We appreciate it. Time right now, 9:23. Much more to get to here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. Good Friday morning and welcome back to ARC Rochester. Thanks so much for sticking with us this morning. I'm Dan Schrack.
I'm Abby Fridman. We still have a lot to get to coming up in the next half hour, but we're going to revisit the latest with the ongoing recovery efforts in the Potomac River following the deadliest air disaster in the U.S. in more than 2 decades.
Yeah, 67 people are dead after an American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas collided. This all playing out on Wednesday night just before 9 o'clock. An incredible tragedy that, again, is something we have not seen play out over the skies of the U.S. In a very long time.
Yeah, this is a live look at that scene. You can see parts of the plane and parts of the helicopter still remaining in the water at this hour. And you also see there are still first responders out there searching for the remaining individuals. And we know that the NTSB, the FAA, the Transportation Secretary have all said at this point this is a recovery mission, not a rescue mission. That was announced yesterday right around this crash.
Yeah, so far they have pulled dozens of bodies from that water, but tragically there are still victims in the fuselage of that plane and 2 members of the military still in that helicopter. Word has it that over the course of the next 2 days, they will be bringing a crane in to remove those 2 vessels or aircraft from those waters. This all playing out right over the Potomac River again on Wednesday night. That American Airlines jet cleared for landing on its final approach when tragically it collided with that Black Hawk helicopter. You see that video footage right here. That Black Hawk helicopter, 3 troops on board on a training mission. Really an unspeakable tragedy.
Absolutely. Still a lot of information unfolding surrounding the events that all went down. We know it was a clear evening. We know that weather was likely not a factor in this crash. There was communication with air traffic control before the crash. The Secretary of Transportation telling us yesterday that the operator of the helicopter knew that the plane was nearby, but would not specifically say that the pilot of the plane knew that the helicopter was nearby. However, not unusual for these planes and helicopters to be flying right near each other. We know that Reagan National Airport is busy. This is for those 2 to be flying near each other.
Yeah, military aircraft making their way up and down the Potomac on a daily basis. It's not yet clear if those military flights have resumed. However, Reagan National back open now for just under 24 hours. Of course, after that crash, there was a ground stop issued. 19 flights were diverted from Reagan, where they were set to land. They were diverted to different airports. Again, a live picture of that scene, this static shot up all morning as rescue crews get ready to head back into the water, or first responders rather, head back into the water to continue with that recovery effort as it continues to play out, and as people continue to ask questions, and as these families grapple with the devastation, their lives forever changed.
Absolutely. One thing that we did learn in the overnight hours that I do want to go back and just touch on for a moment. Here's what we learned. Just a day before the fatal collision, another flight approaching Reagan was forced to abort its first landing after a helicopter flew near its path. And at least 2 other pilots in the last 3 years reported near misses with helicopters while landing at Reagan National Airport.
This does bring up a good point. Earlier in the hour, or last hour rather, we spoke with Drench, a reporter at WKBW in Buffalo. We are coming up on the 16th anniversary of that tragic crash, Continental Flight 3407, Colgan Air, responsible for that jet that crashed in Clarence. Souls lost one life on the ground. But we were speaking to him about what comes of situations like this, what comes after these sorts of mass tragedies, and legislation that gets passed. Families constantly going to D.C. to see that this legislation is making flying safer.
Yeah, we know that from Flight 3407, several different rules, requirements, laws were changed to prevent something like that from happening. Just off of the top of my head, different rules when it comes to how often the pilots are sleeping, where they're flying in and out from. And one that we didn't necessarily discuss with Ed when we were on the phone with him, but is an important one, is the types of conversations that are taking place in the cockpit, unnecessary conversations that were transcribed from the black box between the pilots. There are new rules and requirements related to that. There's no way of knowing just relations, but it's been almost 16 years since an incident like this.
Yeah. We do know this morning that the black boxes from that plane, both of them have been recovered. Those have been handed over to the NTSB, who's leading this investigation for analysis. They say that they will likely have a preliminary report. That's actually what you're looking at here, those black boxes in that bucket right there. They say they will have a preliminary report coming up within the next 30 days or so about what they believe went wrong as part of this crash or led to this crash. But again, as we spoke to Ed and as we've heard from other experts, investigations like this move at such a slow process because there is so much reconstruction that has to happen to figure out how a tragedy of this, something with such gravity, could happen.
Absolutely. We'll continue to keep you updated. I'm sure many developments throughout the day today. Stick with us on air and online. You can always find it at 13wham.com.
We do have a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. Our favorite part of Friday, the Weekend Buzz.
Sandy joins us this morning in studio. Good morning, lady. Thanks so much for waking up with us.
How are you?
We're all right.
I know, I'm solo. It feels weird.
Do you? Let me ask though. Scott, he's out.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy when he's not in? Is it like a little more, you get a little more space, a little more you time?
I actually then have to go into work and run the board.
Oh.
Hate running the board.
Hate it.
Don't like it. Not at all. So I don't like when he's out because I have to work more.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I miss him.
You can't just wear pajamas.
Oh, no,
Or
we
can
can
you?
still wear pajamas.
You can still wear pajamas?
I mean, I don't want to rub it in because you guys clearly can't, but yeah. Anyhow, okay, so Jerk or Justified, we always bring this up on the show, and we do it every morning, 7:20, deciding the moral compass in Rochester. Now, this one is pretty much mom has no remorse for stealing money from her kid. Which it sounds like, oh my gosh, that's an obvious, right? This went back and forth, and it ended with the final vote. It was Jerk, but you can overturn the ruling if you'd like.
Okay.
So here's the scenario.
Please.
She left us a message saying that during the holidays, she hosted for the holidays, okay? Everybody's there, unwrapping gifts, wonderful, wonderful. Everybody leaves. Her son, who's doing pretty well off, she said, leaves and forgot to bring the Christmas card that his grandparents gave him. In the Christmas card is $100. Mom takes the money and has no remorse.
How old is the son?
Oh, she didn't say. In my mind, I was thinking in his 20s.
Like an adult.
An adult. He's doing, she said, quote, he's doing good for himself. So he leaves his Christmas card behind with $100 in it, and mom takes it.
Jerk. That's horrible. That's horrible.
See, I have mixed feelings about this. I do.
Yeah.
No, it's never right to just take something that doesn't belong to you. I'm not saying that at all. I would say it depends on what sort of relationship that family has.
Enough where grandma's given him $100 and was invited over for the holidays.
Well, no. I'm not grandma aside. What's the mother-son relationship there? Is this something that? Let me ask. Did the son complain? Did the son say, "I want my money back"?
I don't think the son knows. I don't know. She just left us a voice message on our app, so I'm not sure about those details. But Scott was arguing Justified. He was like, "Yeah. That goes back into the Christmas fund," or I don't know how he was trying to say it's justified. So many people, I kid you not, were saying it's justified because it showed his irresponsibility. He didn't care, whatever.
So well, there's a point to be made there. There certainly is a point to be made there. Don't you put it in your bag, put it in your pocket, put it in your wallet, put it somewhere. You just leave it in the card and leave the card on the kitchen counter?
We don't know the circumstances surrounding it. I think
phone, keys. I'll go out to my
house.
car. I'll be like, oh, I forgot my keys. I mean, everything.
You've got a stack of stuff. It's crazy. It's the holidays.
I don't
You've
know.
got food you're carrying out.
There are times, like I've gone to my parents' house before, and this candle smells real. It's going home with me.
Well, and steal from, so it's okay for the kid to steal from the parents, but is it okay for the parents to steal from the kids?
Don't give me that look.
You just take your parents' stuff?
Yeah, of course. They have a small house.
Lloyd watches this.
I'm pretty sure he may have just texted me.
What does it matter if they have a small house?
They have a small house. You don't need all of this stuff.
Oh, you're doing them a favor.
Yes.
You do? You need the stuff?
I don't want them to become hoarders. No, it's never stuff it's stuff that gets used and usually dissolves into nothing.
And you know what?
So it's a food product. It's spices.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know your
give
mother,
me that.
but I'm sure she'd be like, take it, right?
100%.
Yeah, my mom does that too.
Well, and she doesn't even say that anymore because she just knows I'm going to
take it. Does she buy two of everything, knowing that you're going to take one?
She will sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She'll buy it and say, "Here, I got you one."
Okay, so I'm picturing this scenario here, going back to grandma, going back to the Christmas card, and the money.
Yeah.
How embarrassing for the mom if she gets called out in front of everybody. So, Danny, what did you think of the Christmas card? Wasn't that funny? Didn't you love the
what
picture
did you
on
buy with the $100 we gave you?
Yeah, did you put that towards a new shirt?
Do we know that the Christmas card wasn't opened?
No, we don't know that.
We don't know that.
Okay, there's a lot of details we don't know.
This is like a congressional hearing. I am not going to respond to speculation, Abigail.
But that's what this is all about.
I know, but only if the speculation works in my decision favor.
I'm really judging you right now for this. I can't believe you just take your parents' things. I'm sorry, that's crazy.
No, it's not.
I kind of think
What's
that's
that,
okay
Chris?
too. I do, because I do it all the time too.
You do?
Well, I mean, I ask, but it's like a rhetorical ask. I'm not really looking for an answer because I know Mom's going to say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, whatever.
Absolutely.
So could we agree that it's jerk to steal from the kid, but justified to steal from Mom?
I'm on board with that, but I also will say that Mom was justified because listen, Mom gave birth, okay? Mom deserves a little something.
How about we didn't? We didn't say that as an argument, but here he's the one who said it, and so did Scott. Isn't that weird?
That is a little weird. That's weird. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we
Shows
deciding?
you where
Because
you
you guys
guys
didn't agree.
stand.
Are we keeping it at jerk or justified?
I say jerk.
I'm gonna
Don't
go-
take money from your kids.
I'm gonna go. Listen, Mom called up a radio station and admitted to doing it. I'm gonna say she's justified.
It was funny. At the end of her message, she's like, I have no remorse. I think it's fine, but my husband's making me call you. I was like, that's funny. That's funny.
That is insane.
Okay.
Justified.
Okay, fine. Second thing. Now, I think we should title this Weird Bed Habits. Okay?
Okay.
Apparently, Gen Zs and millennials are anti-top sheet. Like, they're all about the fitted sheet, and then they get rid of the sheet. And there's sheet comforter. They're not using the sheet. Is that weird or what?
Yeah.
No.
It's
We
not
are
weird?
not on the same page
No.
today.
You don't use a sheet?
I do not use
I
a
don't
top
get
sheet.
it. Why? Explain it to us.
I don't like the top. What is the top sheet doing for me? Nothing.
Oh my God, that's
Nothing.
hysterical.
It doesn't keep me warm. It doesn't. It gets bunched up at the bottom of the
That's
bed,
what they
and
said.
you're digging it. No. Why am I doing that?
Abby,
no.
that's what they said. Most millennials and Gen Z said it gets
so
tangled up and they get annoyed by it.
No.
Okay, so you fix it.
That's dirty. You're dirty.
And it's also
You need
yeah, it is.
you need a top sheet. That's uncomfortable.
How is it uncomfortable? What are you saying? You using hay?
Well, and you wash the comforter. How often do you wash your comforter? It's hard to wash
With
a
the
comforter.
sheets.
It's so big.
You wash them with your sheets?
No, not in the same load,
Yeah,
but
I
with the
know.
same frequency. Yeah.
What's the frequency?
I usually do weekly. I change my sheets on a weekly basis 100%.
You don't change your sheets. You
I
change your
my
sheet.
sheet. No, my pillowcases though too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you sleep with stuffed animals too? Because that's what they say.
No.
Millennials and Gen Zs sleep with. You don't?
But he does sleep with like 1 million water bottles.
Yeah,
in his
there's
bed.
there's
Not that I know.
there.
Yeah, how do you know?
That is weird
Wait a
that you were the one to bring that up.
We spend so much
We do
time
spend
together.
a lot of time together.
And why
There's-
do you sleep with it right next to you?
Because that way I can just I don't even have to
it's-
open my eyes.
It's not even on the nightstand.
No,
It's in the
it's
bed.
in the bed.
Tucked in.
In the bed.
Yeah. Well,
So
not usually
No security
tucked in.
blanket, no stuffed animal.
No,
just
but
a
water.
big,
Yes, actually, I'm gonna think of doing that next time.
I need to be crushed under blankets. And there are 3 blankets at the foot of my bed. And they all go on top of me.
Oh, I love
so
even
we've
in the
got-
summer, right?
Yes. Top sheet, fuzzy blanket,
Yeah.
quilt, or I'm
Ooh.
sorry, comforter,
Yeah.
and then 2 extra blankets on top.
Oh.
I need to be smushed. I don't want to move.
You don't want to breathe.
I don't.
This is Abby in bed.
Think like a coffin.
Wait, do you sleep like that too?
I do.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we're so much alike. we're the same person.
Can I
sleep like that
ask a
too.
different question about your top sheet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this one I think might be a little controversial as well.
Oh.
What kind of sheets do we have? Is there any pattern on them, or do we just do basic colors?
I have a couple different sets.
Okay, so when you have something with a pattern, even if it doesn't have a pattern, when
we
you're
go.
laying the sheet down, do you lay the top sheet face down so that when you make the
Yeah.
bed and you're pulling back,
Yeah,
it's
so it's
face
like a
up?
hotel.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
is that how you do it?
Yes.
All the time?
Yes.
And do you tuck the corners of those sheets in properly?
My husband does because he makes the bed.
According to
Yes.
Hilton standards.
Oh my goodness. I don't give it that much thought, but I know that
Your
my head
husband
is the
makes
sun.
the bed.
He does.
And
He
so
does
the
laundry.
flowers face me. My head is the sun.
Oh.
Flowers face me. They go this way.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I love that. Wait, I had to stop and think for a second about that.
That's
Okay.
weird.
Can I ask?
Sorry.
Yeah.
We're weird.
Yeah.
We're weird.
Go ahead.
Can I ask one final question?
Yeah.
When you buy like sheets, it comes in a pack.
Yeah.
What do? You guys, like, what do you do with the top sheet then if you're not using it?
The top sheet goes in the closet.
To do what?
Yeah. Do you got a pile of top sheets in your closet?
I do have a few yeah.
It's like,
I do.
Oh.
It's just taking up space. They're gonna go missing. Your mom's gonna take them. She's gonna say he doesn't use these.
I'll leave them at the front desk. You can have them. I don't care.
Anyone want Dan's top sheet?
They're not used.
Oh my God. See,
Oh, Sandy,
I needed
always
this laugh.
making us think
Yeah,
weird
thank you.
thoughts.
And making us laugh too. We really needed it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Feel
Yes.
closer to
Always
each
good
other.
to see you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
girl. Time right now, 9:47. When we come back, we are going to be joined by one wildlife rock star, a very special four-legged friend.
Yes, we are. Our friend Diggs making his yearly prediction. Stick around. We're back after this.
All right, pretty soon, millions will be glued to their televisions to watch the final matchup in the NFL. Of course, we're talking about the Super Bowl.
Yes, we certainly are. The Eagles set to take on the Chiefs, going head-to-head in New Orleans next Sunday. And no matter who you're rooting for, there can only be, Abigail, one winner.
Honestly, we're the real winners today because we have the Wildlife Rock Stars in. Thank you so much for being here. And you brought our very good friend, Diggs. Yay! Look at him go!
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning to all of you. Diggs has a very special talent, yes?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So later today, Diggs will be picking who he thinks is going to win the Super Bowl. As Dan said, it's his yearly prediction. We're hoping that this time Diggs, well, not sure if we want him to make the right prediction. We're hoping he picks the Chiefs because he has never picked correctly.
He has never picked
wait,
No.
I thought he's always picked correctly.
No, so Diggs, being Diggs, he is a big Bills fan. He is still very upset from the past week.
Makes sense.
So we're hoping he picks the Chiefs. In that case, that they lose.
I love Diggs.
So tell us about Diggs. What kind of armadillo is he, and how old is he?
So Diggs 1.5 to 3 years old. Diggs is a very special armadillo, as he is one of the only ones that can roll up into a complete ball due to the extra skin on his plates. Lets him roll up. he can put his head, his arms, legs, and tail in there so predators cannot get to him. Because he has to deal with a lot of things like jaguars and other big predators that he has to defend against. So this armored plates right here made of keratin actually protects him from a lot of dangerous animals out there.
He's so cute.
Sticking the champion.
Yeah, what's he doing right now? Is he just trying to get down? Is he like coming down?
He's just active now.
Yeah.
So Diggs moves around. We call him our little wind-up toy as he kind of just runs all over the place. They have a very poor eyesight, but a very, very good sense of smell. So he will just kind of run around, just sniffing around for his favorite food, which is bugs.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, I could
We're
use
safe.
him.
Yeah,
I could use him.
right?
I don't like killing spiders.
Oh, well, there you go.
How did you guys acquire Diggs?
So Diggs was a rescue from a wildlife facility in Florida, similar to our organization. He was born as a baby. Most times, facilities that may not be able to house babies reach out to other organizations, and we were lucky enough to become his forever home. And he's been one of the sweetest armadillos we've had the pleasure of working with.
Do you ever have a mean armadillo?
Some of them can be mean. I mean, just like humans, we all have our own personalities. But Diggs is so sweet that he allows you to give him belly rubs. He comes over to your hand and gives you high fives.
Oh my God.
He's just perfect.
Talk to us about the feet. What do we got going on?
So he has 4 legs. The front 2 have claws, so that helps him dig, and also that helps him swim. Believe it or not, he's a very strong swimmer.
Is he really?
Yeah, so they can hold their breath up to 6 minutes, but what they will do is cross bodies of water to increase their home range. They'll do what's called gulping. They will and they will keep sucking in air so they can keep buoyant.
Wow.
So he's a very, very talented man.
He really is. All right, so when we come back, we are going to get the prediction from Diggs, and we're really looking forward to it. Fingers crossed that it is the Chiefs because, while he's talented at many, many things, maybe predicting the game is not one of them.
Log into your sportsbook account. You're going to need it coming up next. 9:56, we are back with wildlife rock stars, our friend Sandy sticking by, and Diggs here in the studio because in just a minute, Diggs is going to make the prediction we've been waiting for. He is going to decide who is going to win Super Bowl 59 1 week from this Sunday.
Yeah. All right. So before we do that, real quick, you guys tell us about some of the great things you've got coming up that people can look forward to.
Yeah, so speaking of the Super Bowl, we're actually hosting Super Bowl Squares on our Wildlife Rockstars in Bridges for Brain Injury Facebook pages. So it's $20 a square. The payouts are $150 for the first and third quarter, $200 for halftime, and then $400 for the final score.
Love it.
So
can we have Diggs down?
We got like 30 seconds.
We got about 30
Let's
seconds.
put Diggs down and see.
Diggs,
All right, Diggs.
you go where you. Diggs, make the right choice. So we've got two. You can see them on the screen there. We've got two spots he can go
Come
to.
on,
He can
buddy.
either pick the
You
Chiefs
can
or
do
he
it.
can
Come
pick
on,
the Eagles.
Diggs.
Diggs, don't go
Diggs.
toward the Chiefs. Come over here, Diggs.
Come on,
Diggs,
baby.
This way. Diggs. Diggs doesn't want to pick
You
this
can
year.
do it.
He can't decide. Don't do it, Diggs. Don't do it. He picked the Chiefs. He picked the Chiefs.
But he's always wrong, they
He's
say.
been wrong.
But he's always wrong.
He's always
so
wrong.
The
But it's
Eagles
fine.
will
We're
likely
proud anyway.
win. That's what we like to hear. Thank you guys so much
you
for
so
coming
much.
in. We'll
Thanks for
post
having
more
us.
about Wildlife Rock Stars on our website, foxrochester.com. That does it for us this Friday. We've got more news starting at 4:57 over on the other channel. Abigail, what is it?
Monday, 13 Wham ABC.
Boom.
We'll see you later today for 13 Wham News at midday.
Have a good one.